Hi everyone, I'm Rhea and I'm the co-founder of She Loves Tech. She Loves Tech is a global platform which runs the world's largest startup competition for women in technology.
And if you just want to tell us a little bit more about how exactly you founded She Loves Tech?
She Loves Tech started as one singular event in 2015. I've always been passionate about technology since I was very little. I never went into the field, which is very surprising to a lot of people because the first thing people ask me all the time is whether or not I studied technology, I went to engineering, or I did any coding or other things like that. I do have the basic background, growing up, but it's just something growing up, I've always been very enthusiastic about it. I'm always on about the latest trends, the latest things in technology. It's just been shadowing me, all throughout my life. And after I studied business in university, I proceeded to do PR and marketing and other fields that are still not related to technology. But somehow along the way, I finally figured that actually everything that I did was meant for really innovation. So when I was doing public relations, I was always building brands. When I was doing marketing, I was always also selling brands and trying to curate the best experiences for people, and tying in a lot of the technology that's happening around us. It was just a light bulb moment that I realized that technology is what I'm meant to do. It also was rather lucky that while in my previous job, when I was focusing on performing arts, I was very much surrounded by a lot of technology as well because we were closely affiliated to another fund which invests in a lot of technology. And so when I was trying to figure out my next step in life, I just realized that actually, why am I not pursuing technology if I've always been very, very passionate about it? And in that moment, I started to really think about it and really think, what technology means to me. And so when I was thinking about that, I thought that actually technology, what it means to me is really innovating for society, really, finding innovative solutions to help today's problems. And in the same way, during that time, we were already running, I would say, professional women's development platform or community across China, which is called Lean in China. And at that time, we were helping a lot of women in the professional setting, in universities, as entrepreneurs, to really just lean in, right? To basically strive to do more and achieve in their own communities. But while we were doing that, we also found a large gap. We found there were no one really doing or servicing entrepreneurs and really providing them with support. And the same goes with technology. If there's a gap in leadership, there's a bigger gap in technology, or rather women in technology. And then when you go even further, there's a bigger gap in investment. There are people who are entrepreneurs. There are people who are trying to come up with their own products, but sadly no one's really focusing on them. No one's really giving them a chance. No one's really investing in the solutions that they might potentially create for the world. And so in 2015 we decided to run a competition. It just started as one event. We did one event here in Beijing. It was focusing on female founders, but luckily we got really the best support from the biggest ecosystem players like media, Sanshilio Ke or 36KR, CCTV, Innovation Ventures, as well as Chen Fund. They all came to support, and that's when we really realized that there was a huge gap and need in this, in this vertical, I would say, or horizontal, you could say. And since then we continue to grow it and really make it international and totally global until now. We've become the world's largest startup competition, really showcasing all of these women and entrepreneurs, really helping them scale and leveraging the ecosystem, the resources that we have right now to help them. Yeah.
So you talked about a bunch of your accomplishments and challenges throughout this whole process. So how exactly did Event Big help you with all of this? Just because it sounds like you guys grew pretty quickly.
So one of our biggest accomplishment to this date is definitely the scale that we've managed to reach from the very beginning. So we started in 2015, so this year is just our 5th year. But every year we continue to double in size, right? So the first year we did one competition in China. The second year, we decided to take it internationally, which is also one feat. There's I would say like not a lot of Chinese companies, Chinese companies that really started in China and like became totally global, right? And we pride ourselves with that as well. And that following year we decided, okay, China's not the only place that needs this. So we took it, overseas as well. We did Southeast Asia, we did the US. Back then we took the startups to Silicon Valley actually. But after that, when we were trying to figure out what more we can provide to the table, what really the resources that we can help with, and we decided actually, why aren't we, taking them to China? China is a huge innovation technology hub, not less than Silicon Valley or other places. In fact, it's very, very thriving. It's a completely, different market that, these people can really like leverage on. And so since then, we basically run the competition globally and bring the startups to Beijing specifically to basically, get a big overview of the market here, pitch here in a global stage, really meet and access a lot of the ecosystem players here as well, so that they can on a basic level get that knowledge transfer, know what kind of innovations are out there beyond their own local societies or communities, and also like potentially get resources, whether it's investment or whether it's partnerships and vendors and other things. And of course, when the situation calls for it, maybe they could also like explore this market, like they could expand here, or they could even like transfer here. It's all I would say like a possibility. And that said, we continue to grow in this direction. And so, from one competition to 4 competitions to 8 to 16, and this year we're going to be in 20 plus countries. And I would say, the huge part of that is really technology tools like, Event Bank, right? Without Event Bank, I don't think we would have been able to like scale really quickly in terms of, a lot of the structure, right? The infrastructure. As a competition, we, obviously run events. We also, do a lot of registrations and things like that. Just backtracking, rewinding to like years and years ago, a lot of these registrations are completely manual, right? And now with tools like Eventbrite, we're able to really scale really quickly. Really, provide a platform where everyone from all over the world can just access. We don't have to physically set up anything for each country in that sense. It's that reach and that I would say impact that we're also creating here, right? Like more people can get access to us as well through this process. It's that I would say overall overall reach basically.
Yeah, just the overall reach.
Yeah.
So do you have like any like advice to future female entrepreneurs looking to get into the STEM industry? Just because I know, like, especially being a woman in the STEM field, like I'm sure you do face like a lot of challenges, like you already stated. Do you just have any advice to this?
Sure. I think the first step is really to just go for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
If it's really something that you're passionate about, if it's something that you're interested in, or it's something that you want to simply leverage, I would just say go for it. A lot of the barriers that we see are in a way self-imposed. Yes, there are, maybe, I wouldn't say physical, but maybe academic, limitations. Maybe you could say that, oh, I never went to this school, or I never really pursued these courses. But we're very lucky that we're in a stage or in a time where you're free to explore whatever you want. So it's just a matter of, first of all, making that decision. Do you really want to do this? And if you want to, there are a lot of tools available. As I mentioned, Eventbank is an example, right? A lot of platforms exist to provide and enable growth. Whether it's from a company perspective or a personal level, right? There's a lot of like online courses, for example, if it's something that's necessary. And to an extent, you could also leverage on your past experiences or past knowledge to transfer to a completely new direction. When you say that you want to enter the STEM field, there are also different roles, right? So you don't necessarily need to be the person who's like coding everything or doing all the engineering work, unless that's something that you want to. And if it's something that you want to, as I said, there are tools to enable that learning. And if that's not really something, then you could still bring a lot of your diversity, like a lot of the I would say diverse, like ideas and a lot of these thoughts and whatever it is to whatever it is that you want to do. I think now everyone's aware, right? Like that diversity is really key, and that only with diversity can we come up with like real innovation, because you just have a better view or like a more holistic view of really the problems, what type of products you want to create. And each one of us, like whether it's male or female, have something to bring to the table, and I think it's really something that we should really look at. Yeah.
So looking into the future, where do you see like your organization, She Loves Tech, and then just yourself with Event Big? Where do you see that going towards in the future?
I mean, I think from She Loves Tech's perspective, our goal in the future, or at least in the near future, we are still looking to expand, right? Really cover like all the continents if possible, and really be present in all this different communities that needs this platform, be able to really reach more entrepreneurs to an extent where we could say that we've helped scaled, like I would say, like billions worth of companies, right? Of course, like each company are valued at different ways, or you could. Okay, let me rephrase this last thing. I would say, yeah, from She Loves Tech's perspective, we will still continue to grow, and our hope is to really be completely global, right? Maybe by a couple years from now, we hope to cover like maybe 50 countries, and hope to scale by the end of 10 years, maybe like scale thousands of companies that are going to be worth like 100 billion or more even. We want to really be able to showcase the importance of women in this industry, in this space, in the innovations that we're going to be creating for the future and for now. And we want to tell everyone that we're focusing on this not just because it's there's a gap and women need help. We want to make people really understand and really digest the fact that women or investing in women is good business, and it really helps all of us.
So what's the biggest event that you do?
So as I mentioned, the competition culminates in Beijing. It actually culminates in an international conference as well. So basically, at the end of the entire competition, we run like a big conference here in Beijing, which also hosts the finals leg of the competition. So all of the startups from the different countries, they come here and they pitch again, right, for the finals. And on top of that, we also invite a lot of different tech leaders and investors to come and speak and share their knowledge to the public. And usually, we try to get like around like 800 or more people for that event. And for that, we also use Eventbank, obviously. So, Eventbank helps with not just the registration process, but just like the overall kind of, I would say, management of the event, from the check-in to even before that, like the PR part, because we're able to quickly share in the event details and a lot of these other things to other people. Yeah.
So what do you think is like your favorite feature of EventBig?
I like that you can create landing pages that in effect become mini websites for your event. Basically, with each page, you can really customize it according to how you want. But then there are also like templates, which makes everything a little bit easier, right? So you can create like different pages, you can create like different kind of widgets and other things, and so it just makes everything more interactive and visual. And I think that's really, really nice. Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time. It was so nice getting to talk to you and learn more about She Loves Tech and like your growth over the years with EventBig.
Thank you for having me as well.